Today's question comes from Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
Cameron says, "You spoke one time about how you had to accept that fitness doesn't end when you reach a weight goal, and this is forever. I now need your help with my 10-year-old son who struggles with overeating like I once did. He claims to always be hungry, and I don't want to give him body dysmorphia or make him have a bad relationship with food like I have. Do you have any tips on how to help him?"
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter how hard we try, we screw our kids up. And if our attention is on something, it's going to put their attention on it, unfortunately. Um, and maybe he is hungry all the time. I think for a kid, th- like the ideal would be have foods in the house, which it doesn't matter if they overeat them. Chicken breast, broccoli, carrot sticks, celery. D- would it really matter if he overate any of those things? Apples, blueberries. I think like you can definitely overeat those things, but it would be really difficult. Um, and I say that to you like I've had 10-year-old kids. I could never have pulled off a household where I only had that, where I didn't have, frozen chicken nuggets and Jenny's mac and cheese and cereal and all the other shit kids like to eat. But like your 10-year-old kid can't drive to the store and go grocery shopping. You can. So if you have an abundance of foods that it's going to be difficult or not damaging to overeat, then I think that that's the solution for that. I think in a day and age when you're loading the house up with foods that are calorically dense and highly palatable, to ask somebody at 10 years old to exercise personal responsibility and limit their consumption of these things, it's just like an impossible thing to do. You know, today there's tons of food in my house that I just don't really eat at all. And if I do, I have a single bite of it. And like that's not super difficult for me. But like in the very beginning, when I was starting, I like said to my wife, like, hey, this food is fucking me up. Please keep it out of the house. And she did for a pretty decent period of time until I wasn't like I knew that I wasn't going to fall into temptation if it was there. I don't know that you can have that conversation with your kid. It's just up to you to have a house full of food that it's like he wants to overeat. Great. There's cucumbers and carrots and chicken and beef and eggs and, you know, turkey and all kinds of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, where it's like, knock yourself out, bud. You want to make a fruit salad, make a fruit salad. You want to make a regular salad, make a regular salad. You want to make a, you know, chicken lettuce cups, go for it. Very difficult to overeat that stuff. And likely he'll be able to eat until he's full. And I would also say there's probably going to be some turbulence in your home because he's going to be like, wait, where's all the shit I like to overeat? Where's my Doritos and my Pringles and my Fruity Pebbles and, my Hot Pockets and my, um, what are those things? Those delicious treats. I get the Legendary Foods version of
Pop
them that are
Tarts.
Pop Tarts. Where's my Pop Tarts? Um, So that's my recommendation. Get a bunch of like, non-fat Greek yogurt and invite him to put blueberries in it. And, I you're just not going to have a conversation with him, I don't think, where you go like, look, you're entering onto a path where you're involvement with these foods is going to be damaging down the line, because it's not damaging to him today, I would assume,
Right.
unless he's got like type 2 diabetes or there's other major problems. But if you're just sitting there going like, I'm watching him overeat, I'm noticing he's gaining weight, yeah, okay, you're the one providing these foodstuffs. Now, he's going to go to school. There's going to be other kids with other foods. He can trade with them. They can be kind to him and give him cookies. And I don't know what kids bring in their lunches. Or if he goes to a school where there's like a Taco Bell at the cafeteria. I've seen that, which I think is so crazy. Um, you're likely not going to be able to control for that. But if everything at your house is completely safe for him to eat as much as he wants, where's the problem? There's no problem. And then you're going to fall into like 80-20, where he spends some amount of time out of his house. But if he's eating breakfast and dinner at your house at home, and the only real meal he's eating out is garbage cafeteria food, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's a big change. Um, and it's a change for everybody in your house. I would be willing to bet that you and your husband or your partner and other kids, I don't know what her whole family dynamic is, but like it's going to be probably just as hard on the rest of the family. So that's my recommendation. Hard to get a 10-year-old to understand and exercise personal responsibility. That conversation, I think, goes nowhere. You know, talking about the benefits or the properties of different foods, like what fat does in the body, what protein does in the body, what carbohydrates do in the body. They all have their uses, they all have their functions and purposes, they're all necessary. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. Talking about like even calories, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like having a conversation where you're giving your kid data, but expecting them, it's like the marshmallow test. Are you familiar with the marshmallow test page? So they did
No.
this test, and who knows if it's like scientifically accurate, but like they put a marshmallow in front of a little kid in a room. The kid's in this room all by themselves with one guy, and the guy says, "Listen, you can eat this marshmallow now, or you can wait and have two." And then the guy leaves the room and leaves him in the room with the marshmallow. The majority of kids just fucking eat the marshmallow. They're like, the fucking marshmallow sitting right there. I want to eat the marshmallow, right? And very rarely there'd be a kid who's like, well, forget it. I want two marshmallows. I'll wait. And then they make them really wait, 10, 15 minutes, sitting in a room alone with an empty table, except for a marshmallow. And they had this whole theory, like the kids that could wait and postpone gratification and receive two marshmallows went on to be hyper successful. And it's like, yeah, okay. So Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos would sit there and not eat the marshmallows. My kids would have eaten the marshmallows. I would have eaten the marshmallows. The vast majority of the human race eats the marshmallow, does
Mm-hmm.
not wait for two marshmallows. So you have a kid with a propensity to overeat in a house full of stuff where, like, yeah, you can damage yourself overeating that. You can damage yourself overeating anything, but it's way harder to overeat fruits and vegetables and whole grains and beans and lean proteins. It's just way harder. So give him that stuff to overeat and let him go to town. See how he does.
Excellent advice. Love that. I so understand this person's question, and you're right. It's not easy, but so. I mean, you're right. First of all, who wants to overeat celery? But also, you can, and it's something to do and chew
I
on. And it's
actually don't,
crunchy, and
yeah, I don't know if you can overeat celery. I think
yeah,
that like the act of chewing celery actually uses more energy than the celery provides. So like celery is the one thing where you literally cannot overeat it. You're going
right,
to eat to the point where you're at capacity and you just can't get any more in. And
yeah,
even what you've eaten, it's like mostly fiber. So like it's just going to pass through. You're going to have a big healthy bowel movement.
great. We need that.
Yeah. If you make ants on a log or you've got celery and ranch, there could be some issues there. So that's what I'm saying. Like you got to get real specific. Peanut butter, you can overeat peanut butter. Ranch
Mhm.
dressing, you can overeat that. Not hard. Raisins. Raisins are incredibly calorically dense. Like I'm saying, like if you want to give him if your idea of success is him not gaining weight, then you got to put and you realize, like, if you don't lock your pantry, right, and not allow him access, and you aren't measuring out his cereal and his raisins and his peanut butter, and you want him to have some freedom, then the foods you put in your house are going to have to be of a type where it's difficult to overeat.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question, Cameron. If anyone else has a question out there that they would like Ethan to answer, you can always email us. It's hello@americanglutton.net.